Assalamu alaikum, ladies and gentlemen, and good morning. Today, my topic is the patient safety and clinical communications, which is a general topic. Not it is only confined to the neurosurgery, but it is related to the medical profession. Centuries, few centuries back, Hippocrates introduced the oath. That oath consists of, I will prescribe regimes for the good of my patients, according to my ability and my judgment, and never do harm to anyone. Improving the patient safety means reducing the patient harm. Hospitals were funded to give care to those who need it and to keep the patients safe in their moral duty. Same oath was taken to us from our institutions, which is called the PMDC, now converted to PMC. Every doctor took this oath to serve the patients and the profession. There are a few goals for the patient safety: improve the accuracy of the patient identification, improve the effectiveness of communication among the caregivers. This communication is a very important landmark, which mostly we being a doctors and our juniors are lacking. That's why there is a scuffle in the emergency department or in the wards. When we did not communicate properly to the patients, a patient get frustrated. And sometimes because they are so illiterate and they blame all the fights are not due to the doctor's fault. Improve the safety of using medications, reduce the risk of healthcare associated with the infections, accurately and completely reconcile medication according to the continuum of care, reduce the risk of patient harm resulting from the falls, and special emphasis on these slangs like local like, sound alike. In our words, we say, ho jayega, inshallah, is tarah kar lange, koi fikr karne di lod nahi hai. These slangs, basically, we are hiding our incompetency behind the patient's innocency. We should be very clear, we should be very focused. Regarding the principles of patient safety, there are 5 important things. These are the right drugs, right patient, right dose, right route, and right time. I don't want to go into detail because time is already short. They told me you should wind up as quickly as you can. These are the parameters on which the patient safety exists. These are the medical, among them, these are the medical safety, environmental safety, equipment installation safety, blood safety, surgical safety, electrical safety, laboratory safety, and sanitation infection control. Regarding the medical safety, we encounter such type of problem in our outdoors, in our wards. Our patient ratio is too much. Our doctors are in less numbers. That's why, being a developing country, we face this problem. These doctors are working under stress, and every patient wants to get treated as early as possible. And also they expect they should be diagnosed at the same time, given the right medicines, given the right dose. Sometimes human errors do occur, and we should consider it. And also we should convey this message to the higher authorities. The number of doctors should be increased, number of hospitals should be increased to provide the adequate medical facilities or safe medical facilities. In environmental safety, adequate light, like we are working in operation theaters, if the light is not adequate, sometimes we see in the social media, the surgeon is doing the surgery with the torch light or mobile light because of it's our fault, our underdeveloped country. Adequate ventilations and exhaust fans should be there. Stairs with the handrails. Old age patients, adults, and some infants, and the people having the gait problems, they face the problems while using the stairs. They mostly get fumble and they fall and get the severe injuries. In old age, even they get the major injuries like the fractures, subdural hematomas. Windows, door closers, slip preventing floors. Sometimes floors are made in such a way because of due to some fault of the building authority. The patient gets slipped. When they mostly they get slipped, they get the injured. So our floor should be the not the slippery. Fire extinguishers and the alarms are necessary. Prevent noise pollutions. Heavy and fixed beds should be there. Save wheelchairs, trolley, no water logging in the bathrooms. Call bell system for the patients. Adequate number of bed screen to maintain the patient's privacy. Our hospitals, our wards, our operation theaters should be neat and clean, so that there will be no infections, less chance rate of infections, and there will be no colonizations of the bugs. We see in the newspapers, and also I faced in my hospitals. My hospital children ward got fire a few years back, and they happened due to fire and due to suffocations and smoke. Few patients died there. For the electrical safety, we should keep checking the electrical circuits and also the gas cylinders and gas pipes. These are the mostly causes of the uh, electrical safety compromises. And in every building there will be the fire exit doors, and also that should be the tagged so that everyone can follow easily. Regarding surgical safety, the human capacity and doctor's capacity should be according to the patient's capacity. One in our ICUs, one nurse, one patient should be implemented as it is recommended. But here we are working in a compromised environment. Regarding equipment safety, the bed should be the very hard and fixed, and there should be the side railing, and there should be we can move head side and leg side, so that we can maneuver and we can change the patient positions according to the disease requirement. I recall one patient during we were doing a round in our ward. He developed fits. Fits were so violent. Then he fell from the bed. Then he got the head injury. He developed the subdural hematoma. Then we have to operate that subdural hematoma also. If there will be a side railing, head injury patients are irritable one. They irritable, restless, and also they develop fits. That's why the side railing, as strong and hard beds are very necessary. In medication safety, some the medication order should be written legibly in ink and should include patient name, uh, medication's generic name, dosage, frequency, and route of administration, signature of the physician, date and hours was written there. It is written in the as well as on the treatment chart, and also when patient going to the operation theaters, there should be the tag on his or her head. Any abbreviation used in the medication order should be agreed to and jointly adopted by the medical nurse, medical nursing, pharmacy, and medical record staff, because there will be no confusions in the abbreviations. Surgical safety starts with the consent of the patients or relative in writing, proper identification of the patient's name, wristband, proper identification mark of the patients to be operated. Here we mostly do the mistakes. I also did, maybe every neurosurgeons did the same mistake. They once in a life they operated the wrong side of the patients. They do burr hole on the wrong side. If there is not labeled accordingly. Prevention of surgical wound infections is best prevented while doing the surgeries. All maneuvers should be adopted to avoid the wound infections because it's very costly, and neurosurgical infections are also life costing. Use of the surgical safety pre-format in all operations. Check the safety codes if available. Like if you want to do DNR, do not resuscitate, then it should be with the purple color. Fall of risk, yellow, and allergic, it should be with the red. Instrument installations, it is also very necessary. It should be installed in such a way the surgeon will be comfortable, and flow in the operation theater should be very comfortable and in an easy way, so that there will be no problem during the surgery. In our operation theaters, they are highly equipped with the instruments like microscope, C-arms, and endoscope. That's why it should be managed properly. Uh, Identify the actual and potential problems, adverse events, close calls with the medical services, report the problems and adverse events to the supervisors according to the policy and procedure of the ward. And every ward should have a SOPs, and that should be followed. In this way, we can provide better care to our patients. Make sure your reports include details and remove the device, keep all the affected items and save the packings. Laboratory safety, it has a vital role. We should keep, sometimes we mostly face the laboratory problems like hemoglobin comes in a different way. There will be electrolyte imbalance. Disease is something else. We draw the CSF and they give the picture of normal pictures. Because these people only see the sample, sometimes they can do mistake. The mistake is always a human error. That's why we should keep on giving feedback to them. We should write to the professor of pathology so they can improve, and also the radiological investigations. People did not see the patients. We see the patient, we operate the patient. We know more than them by default. And laboratory safety, these includes major factors. Lab animal research should be there for the research purpose, bloodborne pathogens training, hazardous waste disposals, radiation safety, fire and life safety, biosafety, chemical hygiene, and hazard communications. You know all these very well. There should be no patient harm, therefore no blame, no guilt, no fear of litigations. When you will when we will stick to SOPs, then you will have a no guilt. You have no fear. And also our legislation, I say this, the PMDC which got the signed oath from us, this is our legislation, like the Constitution of Pakistan. We are punished, we are prosecuted, we are asked about according to that rules. Focus on the future preventions. The second topic of my presentation was the communication skills, which is called as clinical communications. Communication is only successful when both the senders and the receivers understand the same informations as a result of the communication. Anybody have a guess who was the best communicator of 2003 around the world? These are the two persons who are the best communicators. One of them was operated by our worthy professor, Mumtaz Saab, Malala Yousafzai, and the Mandela. They were heard all over the world. They were heard more than any person in the world. And they talk about their manifesto. Remember that you are dealing with the people. People is the abbreviations. P for stand for the postures, gestures. Your posture, when you are going to communicate, your posture should be appropriate, not lying or not sitting very in a comfortable way. And your gesture should be also appropriate. These create great impact on the patient. Expression of emotions. We should not be the emotional, not be the under emotions. We should, according to the, also, we read the face of the patient, what you want to listen. We tell in a very polite way. The orientation and the presentation. This orientation and presentations is also counts everywhere, even in our vivas, in our exams, and also similarly, when we go to the patients, we want to communicate, we have to communicate them, we have to convince them for the surgery. Surgery is a big phobia. Nobody is willing so easily until they are not communicated in a proper way. Our look should be appropriate. Not when I am talking to my friend, patient sitting in my front, not I should look on sideways, not on the roof, or not on the floors. Our eye to eye contact should be the appropriate. And these are the four components. These are the key components: encoding, medium of transmissions, decoding, and feedback. Feedback is mostly missed. Feedback is a vital thing to improve myself, to improve every doctors, and also to improve its medical facilities to provide the patients, and also to know the mind, mentality, thinking of the our patient community. Communication process, it depends on the source and receivers. There should be the no interruptions, no noise. Mean you should call, make a counseling room. You should call them in that room, call them separately, and then discuss in detail. It will produce a great confidence. For effective communications, these are the six things: clarity, objective, understanding, completeness, time management, and feedback. I already explained a little bit. There are 7 C communication, C's for the communications. We should remember it. One is the clear. Second is the concise. Third is the concrete. Fourth is the correct. Fifth is the coherent. And sixth is the complete. And seven is the courteous. We should be also courteous. Not every time we expect from the others, we should start from oneself. There are always there are barriers in the communications, semantic barriers. Like I did not know how to speak Pashto or Balochis. When the Pashto patient comes to me, I have a little semantic barrier. Then I should call the some translators or the person who understand me as well as the patient, so that my communication will be effective and patient and me understand each other. Emotional, psychological barriers, like sometimes young patients came to us, even mostly the female, they did not willing to talk to the male doctors. For this, in this situation, we call a staff nurse or some other, their male attendants. And the personal barriers. Personal barriers sometimes, these are, for example, we are going to communicate, the person is not in a good shape, not in a not good sanitation conditions, but we should be very empathetic as well as the courteous to them. What is take-home message? No compromise on the patient safety. Otherwise, any compromise increases chances of error. To improve the patient safety, held workshops, refresher courses of the health providers. These include the nurses, doctors, paramedics, and the students. It improves the quality of treatment. For effective communication, doctor must get equipped himself with certain characteristics: clarity, concise, concrete, correct, coherent, complete, courteous, as well as educated. Knowledge of that disease as well. To achieve someone's faith is a divine quality. No doubt it's a divine quality. We should not distrust, or we should not break the faith of the patient. We should develop the faith of the patient. Okay? They should keep increasing their faith on us. And doctors always deal with the life and deaths. Thank you very much.